She placed the birthday cake on the table, 7 flickering candles casting shadows across her son's waiting face. The clock struck 8. Jin Wook's seat remained empty. Again. But this time, when he walked through that door smelling of another woman's perfume, Eva wouldn't be there to pretend anymore. Ava's hands trembled as she smoothed the wrinkles from the tablecloth for the 3rd time. The dining room of their Seoul penthouse gleamed, crystal glasses catching light, bulgogi steaming on fine china, and in the center, a chocolate cake decorated with tiny fondant soccer balls. Her son Minho's obsession. Mama, is Appa coming? 7-year-old Minho sat rigid in his chair, dressed in the navy suit she'd bought him. His eyes, so much like Jin Wook's, kept darting to the door. Eva forced brightness into her voice. Of course, baby. He promised, remember? The lie tasted like ash. Jin Wook's promises had become smoke, beautiful, shapeless, gone the moment you reached for them. Her phone buzzed. Her heart lurched. Jin Wook, business ran late. Don't wait up. 4 years of marriage. 4 years of business. Eva stared at the message, then at Minho's face, crumpling like paper. He's not coming, is he? Her son's voice cracked. Across Seoul, in the private room of an upscale bar, Jin Wook poured whiskey for the woman draped across his lap. Soo Min. 23, porcelain skin, cherry lips. Everything his wife wasn't anymore. You're distracted, Soo Min pouted, tracing his jaw. Jin Wook's phone lit up with Eva's 3rd call. He silenced it. Just business, he murmured, pulling Soo Min closer. His lieutenant Dai Young appeared at the door. Boss, it's your son's birthday. Your wife. I said I'm busy. Jin Wook's voice carried the edge that made men bleed. Handle the territory dispute in Gangnam. That's what matters. What mattered was power. Control. The empire he'd built from his father's blood and his own ruthlessness. Not birthday cakes. Not a wife who looked at him like she expected something he'd never learned to give. Sumin's laughter filled the room as Minho's candles melted into wax. What would you do if the person you loved kept breaking promises to your child? Drop your thoughts below. Eva stood in Minho's doorway, watching her son cry himself to sleep still wearing his birthday suit. The cake sat untouched in the kitchen, candles long extinguished. Her phone rang. Jin Wook. What? Her voice was ice. Eva, I had business? At 9 p.m.? On your son's 7th birthday? She walked to their bedroom, began pulling clothes from drawers. What's her name this time? Silence. Then, you're being dramatic. Minho waited 4 hours, Jin Wook. 4 hours. He asked me if Appa still loved him. Don't weaponize our son against me. Eva laughed. A sharp, broken sound. I don't have to. You're doing that yourself. She yanked open his closet and perfume hit her. Sweet, floral, young, not hers. A red lace bra fell from his jacket pocket. Her heart stopped. Eva? How long? Her voice shook. How long have you been sleeping with her? It's complicated. The marriage, us, Say it. Tears burned her eyes. Say you've been fucking someone else while I've been raising your son alone. You knew what you were marrying into. Jin Wook's voice rose. I'm not some office worker who comes home at 6. I run an empire. People depend on... Your child depended on you tonight, Eva screamed. He wore that suit you bought him. He practiced a song to sing to you. And you were... Her voice cracked. You chose her? You chose whoever she is over your own son. More silence. Then Jin Wook's voice, cold as winter. I'll be home tomorrow. We'll discuss this calmly. No, Eva whispered. We won't. She hung up. For the first time in 4 years, Eva saw clearly. She'd been living in a beautiful prison, and Jin Wook had thrown away the key. By dawn, she'd be gone. Would you give a man like Jin Wook a second chance? Or would you walk away? Comment below and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Jin Wook arrived home at 2 a.m. expecting darkness. Instead, every light blazed. Ava? He moved through rooms that felt wrong, too empty, too quiet. Minho's bedroom, stripped, clothes gone, toys packed. The birthday cake sat on the counter with a knife buried in its center. Beside it, Ava's wedding ring, and a note in her precise handwriting. You made your choice, now live with it. Jin Wook's hands crushed the paper. Rage flooded hot and immediate. She didn't get to leave. She didn't get to take his son and disappear like he was some deadbeat. His phone, 12 missed calls from Daejung. Boss, there's a problem. The Yakuza hit our shipment. 2 men dead. They're saying it's retaliation for... Find my wife. Jin Wook's voice was lethal. Now. Sir? EVA, find her. Find my son. I don't care what it costs. He tore through the apartment. Her passport? Gone. Her documents? Gone. On their joint accounts? She'd withdrawn nothing. Which meant she'd planned this, meticulously. The realization hit like a fist. Ava had been 3 steps ahead while he'd been buried in Soo Min's perfume. His phone rang. Soo Min. Baby, when am I seeing you? Don't call me again. He hung up, blocked her number. What was he doing? He ran Seoul's most feared organization. Men trembled at his name. And his wife, had just outmaneuvered him. No. Jin Wook stared at his reflection in the darkened window. 4 years ago, he'd married Eva because she was different. Strong, unimpressed by his money, fiercely loving. When had he started treating her like furniture? When had he become his father, the man he'd sworn he'd never be? Minho's drawing hung on the fridge, 3 stick figures holding hands. My family scrawled in crayon. Jin Wook's chest constricted. What had he done? Eva stared at the rain streaking down the motel window. Cheap, anonymous, safe. Minho slept fitfully beside her, his small hand clutching her shirt. Even in sleep, he looked for his father. Her phone vibrated for the 100th time. Jin Wook. She'd blocked him, but he was calling from different numbers now. Desperate, relentless. 1 voicemail. Against her better judgment, she listened. Ava, please, I know I don't deserve. Just let me know Minho's safe, that you're safe. I'll give you space, money, whatever you need. Just... please. His voice cracked on the last word. Eva deleted it. 4 years of broken promises couldn't be fixed by 1 desperate voicemail. A knock at the door made her freeze. Mrs. Park? A woman's voice. I'm Detective Han, Seoul Police. May I speak with you? Ava's blood ran cold. She cracked the door, chain still on. The detective was young, professional. Your husband filed a missing persons report. I need to verify you and your son are here of your own volition. We are. Ava's voice was steady. I left my husband. That's not a crime. No, ma'am, but... Detective Han lowered her voice. Jin Wook Park is under investigation. Organized crime. If you have information that could help... I have a son to protect. Eva's tone turned steel. Whatever Jin Wook's involved in, we're not part of it. The detective handed her a card. If that changes, call me. We can offer protection. After she left, Eva's hands shook. She'd known Jin Wook's business wasn't legitimate. Known and looked away because the money was good, the life was comfortable, and she'd loved him. God help her, part of her still did. That was the cruelest part. Her phone. Another unknown number. This time she answered. Don't hang up. Jin Wook's voice was raw. Please. Eva should disconnect. Should block this number too. Instead, she pressed the phone tighter to her ear. How did you find me? I own half of Seoul, Eva. Did you think I wouldn't? A pause. I'm not here. I'm not following you. I needed to hear your voice. Silence stretched between them like broken glass. He cried himself to sleep, Eva whispered. Again. Do you know what that's like? Watching your son wonder why his father doesn't love him enough to show up? Jin Wook's breath caught. I do love him. I love you both. You have a mistress, Jin Wook. A woman young enough to be in college. Don't talk to me about love. She meant nothing. That makes it worse. Eva's voice broke. If she meant nothing, then you threw away your family for nothing. The rain outside intensified. Minho stirred but didn't wake. My father, Jin Wook said quietly, used to beat my mother. Every night he'd come home drunk, reeking of other women, and he'd... His voice fractured. I swore I'd never be him. But I walked into that bar instead of Minho's party and I realized I'm worse. At least my father came home. Eva closed her eyes. She'd heard fragments of Jin Wook's childhood, the violence, the poverty before he clawed his way to power. She'd thought love could heal those wounds. She'd been wrong. That doesn't excuse what you did. I know. A long pause. Eva, the police came to me about the business. They're building a case. Her stomach dropped. How bad? Bad enough that... He exhaled shakily. You were right to take Minho and run. I'm poison, Ava. Everything I touch turns to... Don't! Her voice softened despite herself. Don't do that. Is Jin Wook's past enough to excuse his betrayal? Can love survive this kind of hurt? Share your thoughts and subscribe. The next part will break your heart. Meet me, Jin Wook said. 1 hour, just you. Minho can stay with whoever's watching him. I'm alone. Eva hadn't told anyone where they'd gone. Not friends, not family. Paranoia or survival instinct. She didn't know anymore. The cafe where we first met, remember? She did. A small place in Itaewon, where a confident Korean man had struck up conversation with a black American woman sketching in the corner. He'd asked about her art. She'd asked about his tattoos. 3 hours had dissolved like sugar in rain. That was 6 years ago. Before marriage, before Minho, before everything beautiful turned complicated. 1 hour, she agreed. And Jin Wook? If you bring your people, if this is a trap? It's not, I swear on Minho's life. The cafe looked smaller than Eva remembered. Jin Wook sat in the back corner. Not the polished Mafia boss, but something raw and sleep-deprived. His usually perfect hair was disheveled. Expensive suit wrinkled. He stood when she entered. You came. I probably shouldn't have. But Eva sat anyway. They stared at each other across scarred wooden table. Outside, Seoul's chaos hummed, a world away from their silence. You look tired, she said. I haven't slept since you left. Jin Wook's eyes held something she hadn't seen in years. Vulnerability. I keep going to Minho's room and forgetting he's not there. This morning I made 3 plates for breakfast before I... His voice cracked. Eva's defenses wavered. Jin Wook? I ended everything with Sumin. Told my men I'm stepping back from operations. I know it doesn't fix what I broke, but... He reached across the table, stopped inches from her hand. Tell me how to fix this, please. I'll do anything. You can't fix betrayal with promises. But Eva didn't pull her hand away. Trust isn't a switch you flip back on. Then let me earn it. His eyes glistened. However long it takes. Ava's phone shattered the moment. Detective Han's name flashed across the screen. She answered, and Jin Wook watched her face drain of color. What? When? Eva stood abruptly. I'm coming now. What happened? Jin Wook was already moving. Someone tried to break into the motel. The manager called the police. Eva's hands shook. Minho's terrified. I have to... I'll drive you. No. The word came out sharp. This is because of you. Your life, your enemies. You think I don't know that? Jin Wook's voice rose. You think I don't lie awake knowing everyone I love is a target? Then why? Eva screamed, tears finally breaking through. Why bring a mistress into our lives? Why make us vulnerable for nothing? Because I'm a coward. Jin Wook's composure shattered completely. Because looking at you reminds me I don't deserve you. Because Minho has your goodness in my eyes, and every time I see him I think, what if I ruin him the way my father ruined me? The cafe went silent. Patrons stared. Eva's voice dropped to a whisper. So you ruined us first, before we could disappoint you. Yes. The admission broke him. And I've lost everything that mattered. Eva grabbed her purse. I need to get to my son. Let me help, please. Extra security, a safe house, money for Your money bought me a cage, Jin Wook. She turned at the door. I'd rather be poor and free than rich and terrified. Eva, you chose your empire over us. Now I'm choosing my son over you. The door closed behind her. Jin Wook stood frozen, watching the only woman he'd ever loved walk away. Again. This time it felt permanent. His phone rang. Dae-jung. Boss, we have a problem. The Yakuza knows about your family. Eva held Minho tight in the police station, his small body trembling against hers. Mama, I'm scared, he whispered. The bad man at the door? Shh, baby, you're safe now. But Eva's mind raced. The bad man had asked for her by name, asked for Jin Wook's wife. This wasn't random. Detective Han approached with a grim expression. Mrs. Park, I need you to look at something. Security footage showed a man in a black jacket testing the motel door. The image quality was poor, but his tattoos were visible, intricate patterns Eva recognized from Jin Wook's world. That's Yakuza, Detective Han confirmed. They've been targeting Jin Wook's organization for months. It appears they've escalated to his family. Eva's voice went hollow. They're coming after us to hurt him. Her phone, Jin Wook. She ignored it. Then a text. The Yakuza found you. I'm sending protection whether you want it or not. Dae-jung is outside. Trust him with your life. I do. Eva looked up. Through the station window, she saw Jin Wook's lieutenant, the man who'd been at his side for 15 years. Dae-jung met her eyes and nodded once. Another text. I know I destroyed us, but let me protect what's left. Our son deserves to live without fear. You both do. Detective Hain leaned closer. We can offer witness protection. If you testify against your husband's organization, he's still my son's father. Eva's decision crystallized. And those men don't want testimony, they want blood. She looked at Minho's frightened face, at Dae-jung waiting outside, at the impossible choice between pride and survival. Her fingers trembled over the keyboard. Where's the safe house? Jin Wook's response was immediate. Sending location now. I'm sorry, Eva, for everything. She typed back. This doesn't mean forgiveness, I know. But it means you're alive. That's enough. The safe house sat in the mountains outside Seoul. Remote, secure, surrounded by Jin Wook's most trusted men. Eva hadn't expected Jin Wook himself to be there. He stood when she and Minho entered, and her son's face transformed. Appa! Minho launched himself forward. Jin Wook caught him, and for the first time in months, Eva saw her husband cry. Real tears, not the controlled emotion he showed the world. I'm sorry, Minhoya. I'm so sorry I missed your birthday. I'm sorry His voice broke completely. It's okay, Appa. Minho's small hands wiped his father's tears. You're here now. Eva's heart cracked open. Later, after Minho fell asleep between them on the sofa, Jin Wook spoke quietly. I've given the police everything. Names, locations, accounts. My organization is finished. He stared at their son. I'm cooperating fully in exchange for immunity and protection for you both. Eva processed this. You're destroying your empire. It was built on blood. I won't let our son inherit that. Jin Wook finally met her eyes. I know I can't undo the betrayal. Can't erase Su-min or the years I neglected you both. But I can try to become the man you thought you married. That's not how this works, Jin Wook. You can't. I'm not asking for forgiveness today, or tomorrow, or even this year. His hand covered hers carefully. I'm asking for a chance to prove I can change. For Minho, for you, for the family I almost destroyed. Eva looked at their son, peaceful, safe, loved by both parents despite everything. One day at a time, she whispered. And if you ever, I won't, never again. I swear on everything I am. Outside, dawn broke over the mountains. Inside, a family began the long road toward healing. It wouldn't be easy, but for the first time in years, it felt possible. Do you believe people can truly change? Could you forgive a betrayal like Jin Wook's? Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more emotional stories that will stay with you long after they end.